y'all would be with men for years, performing all kind of labor and duties and birthing children and all kinds of stuff. And you'll bring it up to the man, and the man will say, I ain't asked you for all that. Hey, man, men are not nice people. Men are not nice. Men live in a totally different reality than women. Men know that nice will get you killed, right? My father was a mean man. Very crass, curt. I never got the luxury of believing like the world was this fantasy place. From early on, my pops used to tell me, men are not your friends. Men want to fuck you in your hole. Which friend? My father's an old Jamaican man. This shit, are y'all sure y'all the most educated? Because ain't no way that y'all could see how men are and still end up in the situations that y'all end up in. It's no way. And there will be comments from women saying, that's why I get money from them and I get what I can and I use them and I don't have no feelings and all. I ain't talking about none of that nonsense. Men can't give me shit. I don't want nothing from men. When I wanted to buy my Porsche, I went and bought my Porsche with my own money. When I'm ready to buy a pair of Louboutins, I go buy them with my own money. The only place I trade my time for money is at a job and my business. So I'm not talking about none of that nonsense. A lot of y'all ain't even really getting nothing from men because most of these men don't even have a disposable income. Y'all getting a little bill paid here or there in a meal. Y'all not really getting it like that. And the men who really got money like that ain't throwing it away to y'all. Men don't become rich by doing stupid shit with their money. So all that talk is nonsense that women tell themselves to think that they're getting something out of the deal, right? Dealing with men. And I ain't talking about having no feelings, right? You can love a man, but understand that they're not nice people. Men come to us for niceties. They come to us for a soft place to land. They come to us for kindness and all that. Men are not like that. They don't reciprocate that. I don't know what it's going to take to get that in y'all head. I don't even have a lot of experience with men, and I know that. And I attribute that to watching my father deal with women. Y'all know how old Jamaican men are. Are all men, I'm not saying men are dogs and all this stuff, like, because y'all about to come with that nonsense too, and y'all hate men, and y'all come with that dumb shit that's not even sparing you of nothing. A lot of y'all allow men to run over and through you, and then you become bitter and mad at them for being who they are. It's y'all are the problem. Because you go into situations thinking that men are not like us. Again, men live in a different reality, which requires different from them. They may take off some of the edge when they come around us if they develop feelings for us, but they're not nice people. And before the men come, oh, it's the men you deal with. Please. No, it's not. It's all of y'all. Men are with us for their own reasons, whatever their reasons are, whether it be had their children, fun, or whatever it is. Right? They don't put their lives on hold for us, even their wives and kids. They don't put their lives on hold like women do. Y'all do shit in hopes of receiving something. Men know that's not how life works. The first law of nature is self-preservation. So, preserving myself is understanding that men are not like me. Men are not my friends. If I'm with a man, he's not my friend. He ain't my bestie, and I find women for that. Women are friends with me. I don't sleep with my friends. I don't kiss my friends in the mouth. Men are not my friends. And if a relationship dissolves, then there is nothing else. There's no attachments. That's still my friend and we still chop it up. There's none of that. That's it. Because men are not my friends. And I'm not jaded or bitter or anything like that. I could love a man, but I understand never to get comfortable. Never believe men are not nice people. Men develop into who they need to be for survival. Men are in constant survival mode, and that includes with women, because they don't want to be hurt either. And please stay out of my comments with the misandry and you using men and please, y'all ain't even giving it up like that. Please. That's a defense mechanism, because babies are still being born. Y'all still begging men for dates and money and bill paying. Please, ain't nobody got time for none of that shit. I'm just talking about using your brain, preserving yourself. Stop centering men, believing that you want to get something out of the deal. A lot of y'all be kowtowing and laboring and doing all this shit because you don't want him to get it from somebody else. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I believe that there are women here who are here to please men. They are pleasure sources. They are semen receptacles, and that's where they need to go. That's not what my body is for. Every time I talk about that, there's always women, well, what about your needs? I don't need to share my body with men. I don't need to be penetrated. That's what many of you are here for. That's not me. A lot of y'all are here to cook and clean and have their babies, and I'm not here for none of that. So, think. Get out of male-centeredness, because that's getting y'all nowhere. Y'all so smart and you know men and y'all always have all this fucking knowledge and still get ran over and ran through. My life force is for me. I'll be 45 this year and I don't plan on looking old and haggard because some man ran me into the ground. Because I created some type of fantasy in my head that men are not ever going to give y'all what y'all think y'all want. They're gonna do whatever it is necessary to gain access, and that's it. And men say, older women are bitter and all this stuff. I'm not bitter. But are women bitter? Sure. But what happens is you get older and you realize who men are, right? Young women think, oh, they're my friends and they're so nice. And men want to fuck you. Men want to use your body to bring forth their life forces. Right? Can men love us? In their way. But most women don't know what love is. Most humans have no idea what love is. So y'all expecting something from men that y'all don't even know what it is. But all I'm saying is, men are not nice people. Stop expecting them to be like women. A lot of you want men to be internally women and externally men. No. Never gonna happen. Never has, never will. Observe how your body feels when an attractive man speaks to you. Observe how your body feels when a man you like interacts with you. A man you have a crush on, right? That's your body opening up to him. Your spirit receiving him. It feels good, right? Not only are you benefiting from that interaction, he is benefiting. When a woman is open to a man, he is receiving life from her. This is why men say things like, smile, where my hug at, right? Texting you. All those little things are openings. Any little bit, any little crack or crevice a man can get from a woman is fueling him. You are sharing your life force with him, right? So to believe that sleeping with a man is not a spiritual or soul tie, you have to be out of your mind. Right? Your womb is a portal to the spiritual realm. And so if you are sharing yourself at that level, right, where you are allowing a man to penetrate you internally, that's a connection, right? And if you like him, if you love him, if you care about him, the energy is even more heightened. Right? If at any moment you or he decides that you should not be in a relationship or that interaction should end, all ties need to be cut. Because once there is feelings, when there are feelings involved, you are open. And he will always benefit from your openness. Right? And in a woman's mind, a man breaking up with her and not totally cutting her off, she believes that he still wants her. This is why women say things like, he can't leave me alone, child. No, he can't. Because you are still open to him. This is why more often than not, when a relationship ends, a woman has to totally cut a man off. He most likely will not totally cut a woman off because even if it's the attention, he's still feeding off of her, right? It's important to understand how to harness your own energy, how to protect your energy, right? Men feed off of women because we are the givers of life, literally and figuratively. This is why men love to surround themselves with women. We're like outlets. And men plug themselves in and get fueled, right? Even if they're not sleeping with you, they are being fueled in some way. All of your men, husband, boyfriend, baby father, whoever, they have multiple outlets. Even if it's just women in passing, even if it's women in the workplace, men are feeding off of women. This is why one of the many reasons why men are not nasty to women or rude to women. A part of it is chivalry, but another part of it is there's an energy that the feminine has that men benefit from. They want that however they can get it. Right? And so if you don't protect it, he's not going to reject it. Men are not going to say, no, save your energy for yourself or for your man or for your kids. Nah, they're going to benefit any way they can. This is why a lot of men peacock for women. Right? They try to make women laugh. They want to get our attention. They want us to pay them attention. Right? This is really deep. And so I make jokes about men and women not being able to be friends, or after a relationship ends, ties could be cut because I make jokes about it, but it's very serious. This is why women are drained. This is why women age, because you are allowing men to pull from you. Women don't know how to protect themselves, their energy, and men are not going to protect you for you. Now, you can believe men and women can be friends. You can believe you have male friends. But the fact is, men and women friendships are not and will never be the same as men and men friendships. Right? Men understand each other. Men have a code. Right? Men friendships are realer than men and women friendships. Men cannot be 100% themselves around us. They cannot. If men were 100% themselves around us, we will be disgusted by them. Not only in a perverted way, but just how they are. If you spend a lot of time in male-dominated environments, you will see that men don't interact with women in the same ways they interact with men. Men know they have to be on their best behaviors around women. Men know they have to speak to us in a certain way. They are not their authentic self. So when a man tells me that's his friend or whoever, I know that it's some kind of condition on it. Either he finds her unattractive, he's friend zoned, they were sleeping together, they were in a relationship, and she did not cut him off. Again, more often than not, men are not going to totally cut off a woman he used to sleep with. Because even if he doesn't sleep with her, just by her still liking him and being open to him under the guise of friendship, he's still being fueled by her. She is another outlet for him. Women know how women are when we like someone. When we still like someone after the relationship ends. We're only hanging on to this person because we don't want to totally let go, because there is a connection there. Right? But here's the thing. Men will keep you around because just being a woman benefits men. Right? You just existing benefits them. But let him get another woman and be in a relationship with her. You will not be that same friend. She's not going to allow it, because we know when our man is connected to another woman. We know when a woman is doing things for his attention, his favor. We understand how women are, right? But many of you like to believe you're the exception, right? I accept women and men for at just who they are. Men are men. I don't care how self-actualized they are, how controlled they are with their sex. Even if they're not sleeping with a woman and they're connected to them in some ways because they're benefiting, men do not connect themselves to anything they are not benefiting from. I'm promising you that. So if he has a connection to a woman in whatever way, it's because he's benefiting, even if it's just knowing that she's open to him. Right? And then we start getting into things, women start doing things for men. Right? Women will complain that they got to work all day and go home and cook for their man. They don't want to do that. But they will cook and bring their co-workers food from the pot that they cook for their man from, that they didn't want to cook for their man from. Right? That's because there's some type of connection there. There's a like or something. It doesn't have to be romantic, but she's open to him. Women will perform and do all kinds of things when they believe a man likes them and they like the man back. So I do not ever believe that a man was sleeping with a woman and in a relationship with a woman and didn't totally cut her off. I don't believe that there's nothing there. Never. Right? We as women have intuition. I told my ex-boyfriend about a woman that he claimed, oh no, she's cool. Right? So the reason why I will preserve myself for the man I'm with and not share myself with other men is not for him. He benefits. I'm this way because I don't want men feeding off of me. Men don't deserve me. I work too hard on myself to be sharing myself amongst multiple men. Now, if that's your thing, that's your thing. But this is how I operate because I understand how the spiritual world works. I understand how energy is harvested. So men don't get that from me. If I'm on the ship of relations with a man in whatever capacity, that's who's getting my energy. That's who's tapped in. Right? Many of you are not taking this seriously because you want attachments to men. And it's all good. But understand that men are attaching to you for a different reason than you are attaching to them. Right? And it's very easy for this to happen. Why do you think All you got to do is spend enough time with a person. Why do you think a lot of infidelity start in the workplace? Because that's where we spend most of our time. Right? Giving a man access to you, even if it's just attention, a text message, a phone call, that's your energy. That's your life force. Men understand this when it comes to their woman. They don't want their woman having male friends. They don't want their woman being open to other men, because men understand men. They don't care what you do. They want access to you. But their woman, they want their woman to not be like you. They want you as friends, but they don't want their woman to have male friends. They understand that men and women really are not friends. And even if they are, it's on a different level than men and men friends. It's a whole different energy, a whole different dynamic. Right? Trust and believe. The way women want to be open to men and friends to men and besties to men, men don't want that for their woman, because they understand how this works. Men are the manipulators of energy. This is why they always want access to women. And they are not going to cut themselves off from women. Men are never going to do that. With nuptials and all, they're never going to totally cut themselves off from women. And trust and believe, if they've gotten to a point of sexual intercourse with a woman and she's still open to him and he's not disgusted by her, there's always going to be a connection there, even if they never sleep together again. If she's open to him and he's open to her, not totally cutting her off, they are connected. And he will continue to be connected to her until he decides that he doesn't want anything to do with her, or until she cuts him off, which oftentimes it's the woman who has to initiate that. A woman has to go cold turkey, because a man is not going to do that. He's already conquered you. He's already had you. He's planted his seed, probably multiple times over for years. This is not a game. This is your body. This is your womb. This is your temple. And if you're with a man and something happens, you break up, right? Most relationships will end. You got to end that connection. You got to cut that off, because he's going to keep feeding from you, especially if you are still open to him. Men will play all day with your energy in your mind. And for some reason, y'all are not getting it. My father used to say to me, he spoils me because he don't want men to impress me with them things. Right? My father's Jamaican. And he used to say to me, my father was very real and raw with me. He used to say to me, these women will suck my to ride in my Benz. Right? And I would watch women, how they respond to him in his Benz and his Jaguar and his BMW. My father was a criminal. And very early on, he made me realize that all you really have to do is have shiny things and you can impress a lot of women. My father was a polygamist. That's the home I grew up in. I thought all men lived like that, right? With multiple women. He had women in the house and outside of the house. And so I watched women, you know, interact with each other, interact with him, right? I got a real raw, up close and personal view of how women generally are. It's really no different than what I see in my adult age with women when it comes to the attention and validation of men, when it comes to their money and things and being provided for. And my father used to tell me, in front of the women, you're not going to be like them. You're not going to be like the women that's basically served him. he taught me to be the exact opposite of what women traditionally are. And I think a part of that is because he knew the power he had over women, because he ran everything, right? They were there to do what he said, take care of his children, his house, and his affairs and whatever, right? And he didn't want me to be like that. So he taught me how to use this, and how he taught me how important money was, and to have my own money and things. He used to say, Sheba, make sure you have your own, so you can tell he, she, and the old lady to hit the square hole in the wall. Not now, but right now. Right? Basically, get out of my house. Right? He's always telling me to have my own, don't depend on men, I don't need men, all of these things, right? I said all that to say, all women are not the same, right? And women do what they have to survive, because that was the original reason why we got with men, for survival, right? A good amount of women turned that into a lifestyle where they will not trade themselves unless there's money or things on the table, which I'm not mad at. I'm not mad at it, right? You turn that into your hustle, your lifestyle. That's how you get it. I'm not mad at it. Just because I don't do something, that don't mean it's wrong, right? I don't have no qualms with what Shira 7 teaches, because she has an audience for that, right? So if you're going to do a thing, you might as well do a thing. And that's something my father taught me. If you're going to do something, do it to the best of your ability. Don't half-ass things, or just don't do it. And I take that mindset in everything I do in life, right? So a man going to get all or nothing from me, right? I'm too focused on building my own legacy, my own intellectual property, my own brand, and all that, right? Men are not a source of income for me. Men are not a source of recreation for me. I don't deal with men in that way, right? They never been a focus. That never been my MO, right? Again, it's nothing wrong with that. It's just not me. And I speak to women who would rather get their own. Let's not dismiss the men who want to live like that. There are men who just want to be with women on that transactional level. There's somebody for everybody, right? So, you know, people ask me my thoughts and opinions on Shira 7, or, you know, gold digging content or whatever. I'm all for it, right? Because if that's your thing, then do your thing. The problem is everybody trying to be the same, and then you end up, you know, having battles with yourself because you don't relate to what you're trying to be, right? It's easier to be yourself. So if yourself is going out and getting it yourself, then that's you, right? And that's going to be easy for you. If your hustle is men, then that's going to be easy for you, right? So it's a place for everybody. And the other side of that is men should go after women who align with their morals, ethics, and values. Don't try to get someone that you are physically attracted to and turn her into what you want her to be. I spoke about this in another video, right? If you're dealing with a woman who has a roster, and the only reason why she's not still dealing with those men is because of you, then you're going to fail. Because she's not dealing with them because she doesn't want to. You're the reason why. And as soon as you do something wrong, then she's going to go to the next guy. Or if she's dealing with you for money, it's going to be somebody with more money. Right? So we make things hard for ourselves because we go after things that are not for us. Live and let live, right? That's the way I feel. You know, women will come on my posts and say I'm a pick-me, or they'll call me broke because I don't want to live off of a man, or ask men for money, or they'll assume that I don't want anything from men or my man because I'd rather go out and get it for myself. No, I'm just driven this way. It's more of a flex to go to the dealer and buy my own Porsche, or whatever I choose to get next, or go to the realtor and get my penthouse. Like, that's just more of a flex to me. right? I can lay on my back and make money, or I can finesse men. I'm very good, a very good intellectual conversationalist. I can do those things, but it's more satisfying to be the way that I am. The problem comes in trying to make people who don't think like you or live like you wrong. That's why I don't entertain the conversations of women should be like, listen to you and not her. No, women should go where they want to go. Let them go where they want to go. You just know the women that you don't want to deal with, that you won't waste time with, right? And the men that want those kinds of women won't deal with me, because sometimes those men need to be needed, because that's where their masculinity comes from. They feel useful because a woman needs them, right? I think it's more powerful for a woman to want you, because you know she riding for you. But you know, everybody got their journey. It's not my place to tell people what they should or shouldn't do. I'm just here speaking my truths to the people who can hear me. The way that I am, I can emasculate men who need women to need them. Because when I'm with a man, I'm absorbing him. I'm learning how he does things. Because I love a powerful man. I like when they could go out and bust moves and have a network and all that stuff. That what he's built turns me on. Not because I could benefit from it. It's because I can learn from it. He could tell me something and that'll last me for the rest of my life. Like teaching me. And then I'm going to use him as a standard of measurement to do better for myself. So if a man needs me to need him, he's going to feel useless, because I'm there for much more. I believe in submission, because I submit to power. A powerful man, I follow him blindly. I look at the results of his life, and I know that I'm going to be okay. And I know he's going to leave me with lifelong lessons. I know that if anything happens, I'm going to be all right, because he planted seeds. That's what you could do. I mean, gifts and shit is nice. Dates is beautiful. And I like to be spoiled. After all, I'm still a woman. But where it really matters, that's what I love. That's what I'm attracted to. Everybody's not me, and everybody's not meant to be me or like me. Right? So I speak to those who want to create their own with a man. Right? You can do it with a man. We don't have to not have a man. Before I share, if I see comments that says, those are boys, not men, I'm going to block you. Because either you're an idiot or you're sick. Right? Boys are children. Over the age of 18, you're officially a man, regardless of your mentality. Boys are children. Okay? So I don't want to see those comments. Men want women exactly the way they are. They're liars. They don't want evolved women. They don't want secure women. They don't want their dream girl. They don't want any of that. They just want to fantasize about those women. They want the women that they're comfortable around. Men are just as insecure, or possibly even more insecure than women. And we touched on this a little bit in my book club last week. Right? The more secure you become in yourself, the higher you ascend, the less men want you. Because it's easy and comfortable to be around a woman, because most women are predictable. Most women are the same. Right? And so men can determine how you're going to act, how you're going to respond, what will make you happy. Like, when a woman is evolved, she's the real unpredictable one. Because men are not used to those kinds of women. So men want women exactly the way they are. And this is one of the reasons why women have not evolved. Because most women are the pick-me's they hold so much disdain for. So as long as a man accepts them, they're going to be who they are. So self-mastery is really for yourself. right? Because people are going to look at you and treat you as if you're not a woman, as if you don't have emotions, and it's like they believe you can handle more abuse, not literal abuse, but harsher treatment, right? Men become aloof, curt, mean even, right? Because they don't know, and this is just my perspective, right? I'm not a man. I don't have a man's mind. I can't think like a man. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. I was born a female, so I cannot think like a man. But I can gauge the thoughts by how men respond to me, right? Men will look at me and assume that I'm being taken care of by a man, or men are fawning after me, because they'll sit on social media or they'll talk to me and they dig my mindset. Because I know one thing, men respect competence. But when it comes to the women they choose, they want you extremely humbled, reserved, right? Where they have all the control. If you are the source of your happiness, self-esteem, men respond to you differently. They want to be the source. Just listen to how they talk. It's like they get offended if a woman is happy in her skin, if she doesn't really want to be attached to a man. And they assume that means they want to be attached to multiple men. Right? I wrote about this on Facebook. Men assume when women say, I'm going to live my life and do me, they think we mean with other men, because that's how they operate. They remain open to all women. Even if it's no connection, they're always open to women. So they believe that that's how we are. And there are women like that. But I'm talking about women who are mastered within themselves or working towards it. Men become less and less of a priority. Not that we don't want them, but you start to realize that men really don't want you. I say this all the time. Men think they want a woman like me. It would only make sense, right? You know, I'm attractive and I'm intelligent, I'm smart, right? And I speak to, again, men respect competence, right? So I speak to all of that. But men are still primal, and they're still visual, and they're still insecure. And they know, well, shit, if she's here with me, then there's possibly better. Men are in a constant state of competition. So if they keep themselves guarded, if a man beats them and takes their woman, then it won't have such an effect on them. But they don't realize the higher a woman ascends, the more she will value the man that's with her. And you know, women have to realize that the higher you ascend, the more humble you have to be with men. It's almost like you have to preserve their ego. I'm not even going to get into this now, because women start getting offended by shit like this. I ain't doing it. But this is that's another conversation. Someone said to me a while ago, in a matter-of-factly type of way, as if this is my reality. Oh, I know, you know, whatever man you're with spoils you and takes you shopping and all this shit. That never been my life. Any man that has done something for me is because I was with them, not because, you know, they were so enthralled with me and they want to pay my bills. When women tell stories like that, I don't relate to it. And people would assume that, right? The conversations started with, like, you know, how was your weekend? And they assume that I'm like on Fifth Avenue and I'm just being tricked on. And that's That's not my life. Everything I have, I worked for. Even if I was with the man, I was with the man, and I worked for it. Right? So there's a lot of misconceptions when men see me and hear me. They think that they have competition, and it's not so. Men avoid me like the plague. I know the work that I put in myself, and I know most men, damn near all men, don't deserve that. They deserve the women that they have access to. As I said earlier, men want women right where they are. They don't want women any more ascended, because when a woman ascends, men have to. And men are comfortable being in the positions that they are. This is why men will put up with shit from women, because dealing with a woman who's self-mastered, self-actualized, it requires more. And men don't really want to deal with that. They would rather deal with, look at, and this is no tea, no shade, but look at wives. They never look glamorous. The only time you see trophy wives is if the man is rich, or he's on his second marriage and he's older and he really doesn't, he's gotten comfortable with himself. And most of the women men choose, they don't look like the women they claim they want. So all this weight requirement, all that stuff, most men are not choosing the women that they claim they want. They're choosing the regular plain Jane woman that she's not really turning heads, or she's just cute. She looks like a mom or a wife. They all women that are married all have like a certain, they don't look like me. And this is why men will assume that either I have a bunch of suitors, or I'm dating around, or because they know, the average man knows that most men are not choosing me for the roles that they claim they want, the wife, and they don't really want that with me, right? And women like me. Again, I touched on this in my book club, and sometimes I speak about it. That is what comes with self-mastery and ascension. This is why ridding yourself of male-centeredness is very, very important, because the higher you ascend, the less men will want you. They will know that you are the right choice, but they will go the safe route. And we know this. The Madonna whore complex, we know all these things. But people don't really believe it. Men are liars. They don't want the women they claim they want. All this beauty and age, and they don't really want those women. They want the safe women. I believe that a lot of the dislike for Beyonce comes from women who she reminds them of the girl that they wanted to be friends with but couldn't, because she rejected them. The cool girl, the cheerleader, the girl on the drill team, the girl that everybody wanted to be friends with. All the boys liked her. All the girls wanted to be friends with her, right? Beyonce doesn't even talk, right? All she does is sing and dance, take pictures, right? She's a performer. She's an entertainer, right? She doesn't really give people a reason to dislike her, right? And so nothing is ever what it seems on the surface. It's never, I just don't like. There's always a reason. People may not be able to verbalize the reason, but it's always there. Let me preface what I'm about to say with, I love Nicki Minaj down. Okay? Anybody that knows me knows that. Anybody that listens to the music I play, know I only play Nicki. I don't really fuck with other women rappers. Doja Cat, yes. But, okay, so There will be no Nicki Minaj slander on this here page, and I'll get you out of here. That said, I can understand why women don't like Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj talks that talk. Women don't like that braggadocious type of talk. Women like raps that talk about men paying their bills and how good their pussy is and having magnies, and that's the type of raps women like. Very surface level. It's what girls relate to, right? Nicki raps and talks that talk, right? All you bitches is my sons. I am the star in any room that I stand in. I am the standout. You just my stand-in. Women don't like that competitive way. Women want to be all the same, right? They can't relate to openly professing being the best, right? That puts women off. And so, again, nothing is ever what it seems. And people oftentimes cannot verbalize what it is they're feeling, how the person is making them feel, right? And so they'll use the most basic things that other people can relate to justify why they just don't like the person. So in my IG stories yesterday, I was talking about social skills, glamour magic, your reputation, how you are perceived, and, you have to know how you want to be perceived by people so that you can give that image off, right? In your most authentic way. That way you can control the narrative. You can control you can control your reality. You can create a desirable reality because you're going to understand why people respond to you in the ways that they do. I understand why I'm off-putting to women. Again, men oftentimes embody the confidence or arrogance that people may say I have. Women don't like that. And when you couple that with someone who's actually well put together and it's believable, that can rub women the wrong way. Now, the woman who's not really a threat to women but may have that confidence, women are not put off by that. So you can have a overweight woman who has a lot of confidence and says, I'm pretty and all these things. Women will encourage that. Yes, sis, go eat. All the stuff that women say to each other, because they don't really view her in the ways that she views herself. It's easier to stomach that than if a Beyonce would say, I'm the baddest bitch in here. I'm that girl. That puts women off because she actually looks like that girl. She is that girl that most women would never look like, right? And she has valid evidence of her being that girl. There will be no other entertainer or performer like Beyonce. You can't take that from her, right? And so this is what makes women study women and pick them apart. So when you have someone who looks perfect, right, they have to look for ways to try to make them seem more human. Especially when they don't like the person, right? So you can't call Nicki Minaj ugly, but you could talk about her body being done. Oh, she's fake. Doesn't matter. She's still the best rapper, the best woman rapper. She's better than all of them, right? You can't say Beyonce's ugly. You can't talk about her body. You can't discredit her work. So most women will say, I just don't like her, right? So all of that comes from Not being able to express why you don't like her or be honest with it. I want to look like her. I feel jealous of her. I feel envious of her. A lot of what's rooted in women's dislike for other women is jealousy and envy. Now they're going to lie and say it's not. I'm not jealous. I'm not envious. Those are normal emotions. What you do with those feelings and emotions is the problem, not the emotions in and of itself, right? Women are very insecure. Women are jealous of their own fucking shadows, right? And so when you have a woman who's put together and she's talented, she's gifted, she's smart, women will hate her for that. But they won't hate the fat girl for it. Or they won't hate the unattractive girl, the girl that's not so pretty for it. Because really what sends women over is looks. And that's why that's the first thing that women attack is looks. Right? And that's why women spend so much time on things that are vanity driven. That's why beauty is a multi-billion-dollar industry, because that's the most important thing to women. Right? And that is what would make women hate me. All of what I teach women is self-mastery, right? That it's going to help you to succeed in life. When looks will get you in the room, it won't keep you there, right? All of the things that women strive for it doesn't have no staying power. But what I teach you does. So no matter what you look like, you could be the best looking girl in the world. If you can't keep yourself in the room that those looks got you in, then it means nothing. You're just going to go from room to room to room because you have no staying power. But the girl who may not be so pretty, who has a winning personality and is intelligent and smart and knows how to talk to people and have social skills, she's going to remain in the room and earn her way up. But women don't want to do that. They want to be pretty. And this is why the most beautiful woman, the prettiest woman, the most attractive woman is hated so much. But women will never be honest about stuff like that, right? As I said, it's never anything. It's not what women say. It's never that. It's never, I just don't like. It's always deeper. I always look at things from a psychological aspect. I study human behavior. I understand why women respond to women in the ways that they do. Right? I understand why women will encourage a woman that they're not threatened by. Right? I understand why when women have a fat friend, they love the fat friend, but let the fat friend lose weight. You'll see how they really feel about her. Right? Women they don't tell the truth when it comes to anything, really. But when it comes to things that really are triggering to them, beauty, attention from men, appearance, body, all these things that are very important to women, they won't admit it. It's important. Like, we can all admit that. But what we don't have control over, which is just looks, right? Women you look how you look. You can enhance your look. All women can enhance their look, please. There's so many ways for us to do it. But if you have low self-esteem, or if you feel like you can't get to where you want to be, you're going to hate the girl that you think is in that position. So at first glance, I'm often off-putting to women because they see looks, they see sex appeal, and they automatically say, well, she's going to be chosen. Men are going to like her. Most women are the pick-me's they hold so much disdain for, because the first thing they think of is men. When they see a pretty woman, what happens for her in the world because she's pretty? Women think that the red carpet is laid out for beautiful women and don't realize that a lot of times they are subject of attack because of how they look. It takes women a while to come around to what I'm really doing here for women. This is why I stay away from certain content, because it's gonna dilute my message. I know women just care about looks and vanity. Most of you that's all you care about. You don't really want to dig deep. So I'm going to stay the course because there are women who really want this, right? But what's off-putting is that I speak the things I speak. I expose women, and I'm attractive doing it. That's the thing. And women, they're using me as the standard instead of saying, let me look at myself and do the work. They looking at me and say, well, I want to look like her, or she's talking down to us because she's pretty, there's a lot of unresolved issues with women because we go through a lot of shit growing up with girls being chosen over us and the pretty girl and being the ugly girl or the fat girl or whatever it is that women don't deal with. They just stuff it down and they lie and say they don't have those issues, right? So nothing is ever what it seems. It's always deeper. I'm going to ask a question, and I'm so serious when I ask this question. Y'all really thought that we were going to have a woman president? This crying and carrying on that y'all doing, is that genuine tears of you really believing that men were going to put their lives in the hands of a woman? You thought we were going to have a woman commander-in-chief? Women don't realize how much of a joke they are. We had 2 women candidates. And what I love about that is one was white and one was black, right? And they both tried to win the presidency with being liked and relatable, right? And this is what I talk about with women. This is how women operate. And you know what I love for me? That I'm able to show in real time by way of women running for the highest office in America. And they did it by saying, I got hot sauce in my bag. They did it by bringing rappers and singers on stage. One even popped a pussy on stage. Women, they tried to appeal to what women need, which is feelings, instead of respect. So you can't play a man's game in woman. It's never going to work. But women think they can think their way into spaces, assume it, well, I'm powerful and girls run the world. No, the fuck they don't. Girls run their mouths. Men run the world. And you know why I love for me that there was a white woman and a black woman running? Is because it shows how much of the same women are. So when black women claim, oh, she's talking down to black women, she doesn't like black women. No, I'm talking to all of you. All women possess the instinctive ways, the insecurities, the impulses, all of the things that I talk about. It's not a black woman thing. I'm black, but none of you are that important that I would dedicate my platform talking to you. I don't run that type of platform. In order for women to take power, all women have to be on board, not just black women. Right? So now y'all got to see within the last couple of years in real time how men don't take any of you seriously. Men will put a black man in office before they put a white woman in there, before they put a black woman in there. I don't know why y'all thought that was going to happen. That you thought men was going to be like, all right, Some of them may have voted for her. Some may have even voted for the other one. But it's not enough. Women are not going to take over men's power structure by doing what women have always done. There are women who want to revert back to being slaves. They want a protector and a provider. They want a soft life. They can't do it. It's too hard. These are the people. And you expect men to take you seriously. Men don't want y'all to take care of them. It's degrading to live off of someone. Solid men don't want that. They want you to live off of them because you can't do any better. Yeah, you get your little degrees and you get your little promotions and all that, but it's limited. Because y'all are not learning how to play their game. You're trying to play their game in woman, and it's never going to work. Women don't realize that there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Women have made tremendous strides, right, in the world. But it's not enough. It's not enough to play the games that men invented, to get in the same rooms with them and to be respected, right? Many of you can't even close your legs to men. Many of you are willing to trade your sex and labor for room and board. And you think because you're a woman, it's acceptable. I uploaded a video the other day on TikTok responding to a comment where I was saying sometimes men just don't want you anymore. It has nothing to do with them wasting your time. And there are women in the comments saying, oh, that's mean. Why is it fucking mean? It's not mean to tell men they're not wanted and they're poor and they can't afford this and they're this and they're that. But it's mean and hurtful to tell you that. Women can't even face the reality that they're not wanted by everyone. Women can't face the reality that there are double standards and there are things that we cannot do just in the name of self-respect that men can. And you think they're going to allow women to run the country? You're out of your fucking minds. I remember when Roe v. Wade was overturned and women were online trying to find natural ways to terminate pregnancies. You know why? Because women have no intentions on closing their legs to men. You can't even get over being stigmatized. And you think you're going to run the country? You're going to run the world? That sounds good, being sung, but it's not real. And it's not that women are not capable. It's that you don't even want to see yourselves. You don't want to even be told about yourselves. Y'all still begging men to date you and pay your bills. You're still having children knowing that you may not even end up with the man you had the kids with. Knowing that he ain't going to be able to take care of you for the rest of your life because he can't. There's a lot of things that women have to experience over and over and over again. You just won't get it. Men are not lying to you. They're not tricking you. They're not doing anything. You're doing it to yourselves. You're believing a delusion that you created in your head and you expect everyone else to go along with it. This is why women hate the truth, because y'all believe one thing and the truth is showing you something different and you hate it. You can't even face yourselves. You think men don't see women for who they truly are? And you think they're going to put their lives in your hands? You don't even want your own life in your hands. You don't even want to assume the power you claim you want. You don't even want to take it. It's all a fucking joke. Oh, it's all stop being sad. Oh, it's all right, girl. We thought y'all really shut the fuck up, please. Amen. The way women think they're going to come into power, assume power, is delusion at its finest. Buckle up, buttercup. It's going to be a wild ride. I learned a lot of valuable lessons from men, right? And One thing I learned many things from my magic teacher, but one of the most important things he told me was, people in power are never going to give it away. And that is so true. Women like to believe they're in power, and men don't let you believe that, but you really don't have women don't have a power structure. Women don't have the power that's needed in order to assume power in the world. You have power in the house. You have power, we got to give women equal rights because they fought for it. You don't have that real power that's required to put a woman in the highest office. That's why you didn't do it. That's why we didn't do it. This is not a game. And I tell you something, men are not going to go out in the way you think they are. So you're going to have to find something else besides hoping a man saves you, because men are saving themselves.